Everyone lives his or her life in a different way. Now, we might find that maybe a few people are following the same path, maybe same career, but some or the other, they are not following the same process, or maybe they're not interested in the similar process to get something, right? That's pretty normal because each and every individual is different. Now, in order to hold yourself together, to follow a particular path, what you need typically, people will say different things about it. People will say a lot of different things, rather, a lot of different ingredients that you need to be on track and to move towards your destination. Well, destination in the sense, I personally believe destination may be a vague term. Why? Because destination keeps on getting changed as the time progresses. But yes, each and everybody has his or her own desire. That is something else. But in someone's personal life, the person needs to perform certain activities every day, right? That's pretty normal. Like we breathe, we eat, we drink water, right? Every day we perform different activities to sustain, to earn money rather. Now, in order to perform all these things, some or the other, you need discipline. People do talk about it a lot. But I'm not going to talk about all those things because I personally believe now discipline is not something that people don't know. It's that it becomes pretty difficult to follow sometimes, right? Even sometimes our mind works in a different manner. That's the reason we tend to not to follow the discipline, because I find it pretty, sometimes, I have heard people are feeling really claustrophobic, following some sort of discipline every day and become monotonous as well at the same point of time. So what is typically discipline? I don't know. People have said different things about it, but I believe discipline is a set of activities which you can perform, or rather you need to perform each and every day with ethics. So what is ethics typically? Integrity, something like that. Each and every person has a different ethics altogether. So I'm not getting into all those things. What is ethics? People do know. I know that even. But on the contrary, discipline becomes really painful if you are doing it for a longer period of time, right? And people do get deviated. They fail to perform or maintain discipline in their lives because it becomes monotonous. That's one part. On the other part, becomes really painful to do certain things on a regular basis. You need to keep on doing that stuff and pushing yourself to the limit sometimes, right? Because our brain doesn't work in that manner. Every day we need something new or the other. Or maybe we don't want the old things. Maybe, whatever it is, I don't know. I never did any research on that, and that's not my area of concern. I focus on reality, as you know. So, considering that, I would say that discipline comes with pain. It's an inevitable part of discipline. But remember, even if you are thinking about probably one of the most pleasurable activities in the world, even that includes pain. I don't know whether you guys have understood what I'm talking about, but I'll talk about that in a moment. But in our real life, think about it. Breathing. We all do breathe, right? We can't live without oxygen, right? So you have to. But do you think breathe in and breathe out is a pretty simple task? Don't you think there is a pain also involved? Why? Because since we are breathing in and we are also breathing out, it requires a certain amount of energy. And that energy we need. So for that reason, what am I going to do? I need to store that energy. Maybe I need to have food for that, right? Maybe some other stuff also involved, but I need food for that. So how do you eat typically? You need to chew, you need to swallow, all those things, right? So do you think it's pretty normal, pretty easy to chew and swallow? Sometimes it becomes really painful if you're chewing something, say for example, pretty hard. right? Not a soft food. Then of course the pain is involved, but you will get the energy. That's the end point. That's the result. So there are different things, as I said, even one of the most pleasurable things, right? Yeah, must have got it or maybe not, but I'm repeating it. Say for example, sexual pleasure. It's one of the, probably I do consider that one of the best gifts of nature, because as you know, nature even tries to keep its existence, and that's a reason nature wants to create other things so that the existence remains intact for nature, and that's the reason we have that. So maybe, I'm not going into all those details. There are different definition, different meaning about sexual pleasure, but think about it in a normal way, the way reproductory organs work, the way reproduction takes place to create another life. Is it really pleasurable all the time? It also includes certain amount of pain, and typically think about it that we do enjoy that pain as well. So we also enjoy the pleasure, right? So pain and pleasure, it's more like two sides of one particular coin that you need to flip, and you need to understand that, okay, it may come up with some pleasure or it may come up with some pain sometimes. But yes, in order to get the pleasure, maybe you need to go through pain. So why not that applicable in our personal life? We do think about, it's really painful for me to digest. It's really pain for me to adjust. It's really pain for me to accept, right? But think about it. If you're a disciplined person, you are performing some activities on a regular basis, then of course you will feel that pain. But at the end of the day, you will get the pleasure, you will get the success, whatever you are looking for. Remember, we also go for insurance, right? In our life, we purchase insurance for ourselves. So what are you going to get right now if we avail for an insurance? We can't get something right now. We will not get the benefit. So the pain is to invest, but I have to keep on investing. So yes, that's painful, right? It's painful to accept. But at the end of the day, maybe once I become pretty old, that insurance will become really handy for me. So pain is something that we try to avoid. But if you get some continuous pain, remember, some sort of pleasure is there hidden in pain, which we tend to avoid. We don't want to understand, because think about the short-term perspective. Pain is really painful when we think about short-term perspective, but it becomes really, really beneficial if you are taking one particular pain for a longer time, right? So I don't know whether you guys got confused because of my statement or not, but it's reality that somehow or the other we need to take some pain. But if we can keep on taking pain, and if we can transform that pain into pleasure or success, whatever, end of the day we will be considered as a winner, right? We will win over pain. But pain is necessary as well. Otherwise we'll not be able to understand the real pleasure or the real success of something.